get started with our basic recipe today. I will make the gravy the way my mother-in-law did. Sometimes she used a food mill, and I have a food mill, and if you have all day, you could probably use that. But I'm not going to do that today. But I still do it the way she did it. And we're going to do is we're going to start out with putting it in a bowl. Usually I put it in a pan on the stove if I'm in a hurry. But I'm going to pour the tomatoes in the bowl, and I'm going to squish with my hand. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then these are the ingredients. This is 2 cans of tomatoes and 3 cans of 6-ounce cans of paste, and that's the basic sauce. So let's get started. I'm going to put these tomatoes in here. And let me reach back here for a big wooden spoon. This wooden spoon has been in the family for a long time. It's my spanking spoon that I never used to spank. But anyways.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, now my mother-in-law used to squish these tomatoes like this with her hands. And as she got them pretty well mashed up, then she'd take a spoon, and force it through the sieve. Now, this takes a considerable time, and we can do this. It'll take about a few minutes. But if you're in a real hurry, and like some of us are these days, so you can see how it's coming out, and the result of doing it this way is a very, very smooth sauce. If you want, depends on your choice and your taste. If you would like a heavier sauce, add more tomato paste. If you like a lighter sauce, then pull back on the paste. And if you don't like paste at all, you can just use the tomatoes. So we'll try to get all this through right now. So it's basically pulp, some skin, and some seeds. Seeds, I feel, make it a bit bitter, but it's up to you. You could probably even put that in the sauce too. So I just help this a little bit down here, and I'm going to pour this in a bowl, and then we'll get the other one ready. Now, the other can, I'm going to put in the blender. All right, let's give it a whirl. Just give it, if you're in a hurry, this is what you can do. And that's all it needs. Pour this in here as well. Now what will happen is it'll go quicker, and less pulp will be left, and some seeds. It'll all get, and any seeds left will usually get cooked up in the sauce, and you won't even taste them. But I like to get the majority out as I have right here. Okay, let's do this. Yeah. But it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Okay.
Right hand?
And,
Yeah.
you know, my mother-in-law did this, and as I said, I still do it this way, and I do use the blender. I don't use the smashing with the fingers or the potato masher or anything like that. I just still do it this way. Alright. Now we're ready to go to the stove. Okay, I'm going to put my pot on. Now this is a pot. You know the difference between a pot and a pan? This is a pot with 2 handles. This is 6 quart. A pan has a big long handle, and I'll show you what one of those looks like. Oops, forgot to get out. This is a pan. This is a pot.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Okay, and we're going to put a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom of the pan.
That will be.
Julie's not real bright.
Okay.
I'm doing the editing.
All right. We'll let that get a little warm, and we'll add the onions. Now, this is about. Let me see. It's probably about a handful and a half. That's all we need. Even though there's a little bit left. Sometimes a little bit too much is too much.
And that was from one large.
This is actually a large onion that I cut in half, and I'm using half for this and half for the meatballs. But you can have 2 mediums if that's all right too. Okay, we'll get this started. Let's turn up a little bit so we can see how it starts to brown. We want to just get the onions till they're slightly brown around the edges, no burning. That ruins the taste. So we'll just keep it light, and we'll do this as much as we can. Just keep turning them so they don't stick or burn. And then That's, after this is when we add our tomato paste. So I've got that ready. I'm going to get this ready.
Big one.
Smells really good. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. Okay. If you want to put your garlic in here at this time, that's fine too. But I don't like the garlic if it starts to get too brown. It gets a little bitter tasting. So I just add it to the sauce afterwards. Afterwards, what I mean by that is when I get everything in here, then I put the garlic and the bay leaves in. So it's getting there. Sometimes a little browning will occur on the bottom of the pan, and that's a good thing. That's a lot of flavor there. And I just pick it up and continue on browning the onions, and you can see they're starting to turn. You can see, I don't know if you can see, there's some brown bits in there. I just keep mixing that around. Okay, I'm going to turn it down a bit. I think that's good enough. I have enough brown. You can do it a little bit more if you want, but I think for now that's fine. It's starting to be translucent. We still have a lot of brown in here going on. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm just going to take off the fire for a minute. I'm going to put the tomato paste in. I don't want this to burn down here.
All right.
I suppose I could have had this put in a bowl at the beginning, but that's okay. I like to clean out the cans with a little bit of water. So if I can get my assistant to do that, just like that. Okay, I'm going to put this back on the burner.
Grandma, Chef Grandma, there's your...
Very good, thank you. Okay, we can fry this a little bit. Sort of a medium-high heat. You can see how it's starting to mix up down in here. Just a little while. Okay, I don't want to leave it on the burner right this moment, but since I have my tomatoes all ready to go in, I'll take my tomatoes. And as you can see how putting it through a sieve, how nice and smooth that is, and it's a little loose right now, but with all the paste and everything, it'll thicken up a bit. It'll be perfect.
Perfect like you, Mom.
Okay. Okay. And this is it. And once I get this all stirred, I'm going to add the bay leaf and the garlic. Now the garlic, I'm just going to take this real quick, smash it a little bit, and then pour in the sauce. Okay, so we can turn it down now. And as soon as it gets all blended, then I'm going to drop everything in there. Okay, we can put our garlic in there and then drop our bay leaves and let it go. Now I do add a little bit of salt and pepper. And add a little pepper.
Hen, you get to clean it all up.
It's probably about half a teaspoon. You know, that's not that much. It really isn't.
No.
I think I put a teaspoon in the recipe, but I don't even think it's that much. And it's totally up to you and your taste. You might like it a little salty, and sometimes your tomatoes are more salty. The sodium content is more salty in some brands than others. So it's totally up to you. You have to taste it and find out. Now, I'm going to put this on simmer to low, and I will come back to this and stir. Anybody that comes into the kitchen has to stir the pot. And it can, and this can go just like this for about an hour maybe. And that is it. So while this is cooking, I'll prepare the meat.